This video explains the waste management system for plant protection product packaging in Catalonia, an activity that is being carried out under the Agrochepack project, funded by the MED program of the European Union. Collaborators have been agricultural cooperatives, waste management companies, the Waste Agency of Catalonia, and the Department of Agriculture of the Generalitat de Catalunya. The video has been carried out by the University of Lleida. The overall objective of the project is to design an optimized system for managing plant protection packaging to protect the environment and health in the Mediterranean area. 5 countries are involved, 3 without management systems, Greece, Italy, and Cyprus, and 2 with their own management systems, France and Spain. The role of the University of Lleida is to optimize the existing system with involvement of all agents taking part and offer it to other project participants. The system is governed by European, national, and local laws. According to the law, the ones that put the packaging on the market, plant protection product manufacturers, fillers, and distributors, must organize a management system. For that, they have created a non-profit company, Sigfito, that organizes an integrated collection and management system for agrochemical packaging, providing them with an environmentally correct treatment. Sigfito has its headquarters in Madrid and a team that makes the fulfillment of this goal possible. Its scope of activity encompasses all of Spain and does so with the approval of the institution that has jurisdiction over waste generated in the corresponding area, the Catalonia Waste Agency for Catalonia. The law also requires farmers to pay for this system and deliver clean, empty containers to the collecting point. The waste is classified as hazardous in Spain, and therefore its management should be separated from the municipal waste collection system. These containers, according to the hierarchy of waste management in Europe, have to be reused. If this is not possible, they have to be recycled. But if recycling is not possible either, they are to be incinerated with energy recovery. Finally, if there's no other alternative, they are to be deposited in a landfill. Sigfito has organized a system so that manufacturers, fillers, distributors, and farmers can meet their legal obligations and the type of agricultural waste it deals with is handled correctly. The Agrochepack project analyzes this system, makes suggestions for improvement, and establishes a pilot program to test their viability.
BASF developed its phytosanitary products in Germany, in the central site. It takes between 10 and 15 years developing these formulations, taking into account that it must be done all the required tests regarding toxicology and environmental protection. Once the decision is taken and it can go ahead, they decide to produce it in one of these sites, and one of them is here in Tarragona, where you will see right now the production procedure.
Manufacturers and fillers are the first to handle the container that will be introduced to the market. They decide what type of container is introduced, its category, or what material or materials it is made of. Generally, they are not the ones who make the packaging, but they do specify to the manufacturer how the packaging should be. Many criteria are taken into account in the election of the packaging. Among the technical criteria to highlight, the compatibility between the product it contains and the material the packaging is made from, and it's designed to facilitate easy and safe handling during transportation, storage, and its use by the farmers. Plant protection product manufacturers invest great efforts in research and in the time it takes to develop an active substance that solves a problem that a farmer has, related to pests, disease, or weed control. Once the active substance has been identified, they proceed to its manufacturing. After the active material has been manufactured, usually in the form of powder or liquid, it is formulated by combining a suitable particle size with suitable solvents and emulsifiers that will also determine its stability and its ultimate effect in the field. The formulated product is then ready to be packaged in a plant specifically for this function. At this plant, the product is introduced into the previously chosen container, where it is dosed, closed by all the safety guarantees, weighed and labeled. This label specifies the characteristics of the product, handling precautions, and how to manage its container after use. For this reason, the Sigfito logo that indicates to the end users that the cost of managing the container after use is included in the purchase price is added. Finally, it is packaged and prepared for safe shipment to the distributor and final retailer. The same process takes place with a group of other products that are not plant protection products, but are crop nutrition products. These products are basically solid and liquid fertilizers, nutritional supplements, and fortifiers. The manufacturer chooses the type of container here as well. The materials and types of these containers are practically the same as for the plant protection product containers, but in this case, the law does not require establishing a management system for packaging in use. The farmers purchase these products on the same site as the plant protection products, but then they do not know what to do with the waste container. Some companies in this sector have decided to join the Sigfito system to facilitate container management for the farmer.
BioVert és una empresa que està ubicada a Lleida que es dedica a la fabricació de fertilitzants, concretament d'un nítxol petit de mercat que són els nutrients especials, que són adobs que permeten millorar productivitat i qualitat. El nostre canal de distribució, així com els nostres usuaris finals, són exactament els mateixos que els que subministren a través dels productes fitosanitaris. BioVert es va adherir al sistema de gestió Sigfito a l'any 2009 per raons de responsabilitat social corporativa versus el medi ambient, tot i que per una empresa com la nostra no era en absolut obligatori per llei, però també per poder donar una eina addicional als nostres clients, els quals en alguns casos estan sotmesos a sistemes de gestió de la qualitat en la seva producció tipus Eurogap. L'adhesió a Sigfito d'empreses similars a BioVert dintre del nostre sector és molt baixa, perquè els costos relacionats són molt alts i no proporcionals pel tipus de negoci i d'enfoc al que estan dirigits. Si les quotes fixes anuals i el cost per envàs gestionat fossin més baixos, amb molta probabilitat, moltes més empreses del sector s'adheririen al sistema Sigfito.
It is therefore important that the already organized Sigfito system be taken advantage of to address the management of these other types of containers. Encouraging the manufacturers of these products for plant nutrition to integrate into the Sigfito system would contribute positively to the greater recovery of recyclable materials, while at the same time providing a solution to the farmer. In fact, the farmer not only generates waste-like containers, but uses other accessories for agriculture that also generate other plastic waste that are recyclable. Some examples are the protectors used for fruit and vines, tutor tapes for peach trees, or pheromone traps. Whatever the nature of the product that is contained in the packaging, people do not always take into account that this package will be part of a multi-waste where many different types of packaging materials are mixed. This will certainly lower the value of the final waste. The first important point to optimize is that the manufacturers and fillers agreed to use certain packaging materials and avoid those that represent a minority. Additionally, materials cannot be recycled and must be incinerated, should be eliminated from the market or minimized. Manufacturer and filler associations can play a key role in making agreements with manufacturers. The Agrochepack project has included in its pilot plan the integration of other packaging and accessories to the Sigfito system and has highlighted the need for agreement among manufacturers to standardize and optimize packaging placed on the market. In fact, the results show that integration is possible and that initial efforts by some manufacturers to standardize the packaging have already been made. The manufactured product is sold primarily through specialized shops and agricultural cooperatives. These agents are essential for guiding farmers in the use of the products and their handling. The farmer first approaches the technical team of the cooperative or the shop. This team will advise the most suitable product for the farmer's needs, who then purchases the product. To acquire the product, you need to show the seller your valid license as an applicator of plant protection products, which is a prerequisite required by law. The seller makes the sale transaction and records it in a document that the farmer and seller must keep, stating the person who has purchased the product and which product. Then authorized personnel will search in the warehouse for the corresponding product, which is stored according to current regulations. The product is given to the farmer.
Nosaltres aquí a la cooperativa el que és el magatzem de fitosanitaris el tenim segons la legislació vigent i després nosaltres el tenim agrupat segons el tipus de producte que és, ja sigui insecticida, ja sigui fungicida o ja sigui correctors i també després el que tenim de part amb un altre magatzem al costat tancat i separat de la resta de productes és tot el tema d'herbicides i productes tòxics.
During the acquisition of the product, the farmer receives an invoice with the total cost of the purchase. But the container management is not broken down. This breakdown is only shown in the first transaction between the manufacturer and the first distributor. The Agrochepack project has highlighted the importance of the farmers seeking the breakdown, thus becoming aware of their legal obligations and participating in the management system. When the project is finished, this breakdown is now implemented. The farmer stores the plant protection product containers in a separate enclosure at the farm, following an order to set out in the regulations. Personal protective equipment must be in a separate enclosure. According to the guidelines for personal protection, you must protect the whole body, especially the respiratory tract, eyes, and hands. Following the product is prepared at a filling point, which can be private or community, usually municipal. The application tank is first filled with an appropriate amount of water, and then the product is incorporated by means of a powder dispenser. This is done taking into account the wind direction to minimize the risk of inhalation. Then other products mixed with the powder are added to form the final mix. This operation generates waste in two containers: a bag that cannot be washed, it cannot be recycled, and a rigid container which, as the law says, receives a triple rinsing. It can be recycled. Lastly, the container is drained. The procedure is not only applied to the packaging, but also to the lid. This procedure makes the most of the product contained in the package, and at the same time the container is also decontaminated. The project in the laboratories of the University of Lleida has shown that a triple rinse effectively decontaminates the container, ensuring that the waste is not hazardous. Both of the waste generated are deposited in a bag inside a bin. This bin is in a closed enclosure at the same time. After the preparation of the product, The farmer just fills the tank and introduces information into the tractor's computer and regulates the spray nozzles to determine how the application will be carried out. The farmer tries to minimize the volume of the application without losing the potential effectiveness of the treatment. Finally, the farmer carries out the application in the field. Once the application is finished, he cleans the inside of the tank by partially filling it with clean water and spraying it in the field. In all the operations carried out to prepare the application of the product, there are 3 important factors that make farmers aware of their obligations and that can be performed correctly. The Agrochepack project has stressed these 3 factors repeatedly. The first factor refers to the farmer being instructed and knowledgeable. For this reason, information sessions and demonstrations are held throughout the project and information leaflets are published. The second factor refers to triple rinsing. In order to demonstrate alternatives to manual rinsing, participating cooperatives are provided with a pressure washing device that the French participants of the project have informed us about. The pressure rinsing simplifies manual rinsing, and for this reason, it has been very well received by farmers. The project has also collaborated with a local company who designs atomizers. This company has incorporated a container cleaner in the atomizer. This device is very useful because it allows the farmer to wash the container anywhere, making it independent of the filling point for performing this operation. To facilitate the return of the container, a box has been incorporated for being able to transport empty containers. The third important factor is the optimization of the filling point. We have observed that most filling points, usually belonging to a municipality, are not well equipped. Most have a wide hose to fill the tank, but do not have a system to control the volume of water used, a tap with a hose to rinse the container, nor a control of effluents, which often occur in filling the tank. To provide alternatives to these shortcomings, the Agrochepack project has designed an optimized filling point based on already existing ones. At this point, the farmer must register to use it and can set the volume of water needed and perform the triple rinsing. There is a faucet with a reduced hose to triple rinse. There's also a station to clean outside the tanks. However, there is no control of effluents discharged into the environment. The project has designed a system to provide alternatives to these inadequacies, and it is presented to municipalities and cooperatives so that they can implement it. Collecting points are established through a collaborative agreement between Sigfito and mostly cooperatives, plant protection product shops, and some municipalities. Thus, collecting points, or Sigfito points, have been established. The collecting points must meet certain safety requirements that are checked by a visiting Sigfito staff member. The staff fills out a compliance document, and the point is established. The farmer takes the waste to the collecting point in a bag that was previously provided at the same point. The introduction of this bag was proposed by the pilot project to facilitate returning the farmer's waste. This method has been proven effective. The collecting point's manager receives the farmer, and the waste is classified according to the type of material: rigid plastic, both containers as well as lids, flexible plastics, and paper or cardboard. In some areas, metal drums are also collected. There, it is confirmed that the containers have a Sigfito logo, are uncapped, cleaned, and drained. If the containers are dirty with the product, they are separated since they will contaminate the rest of the waste in the collecting point. Additionally, containers from agricultural machinery such as oils or coolants are not collected through Sigfito, since they have a logo with a green dot and therefore must be put in the yellow container for municipal waste. In this case, the farmer is notified of the problem to be corrected. Finally, another bag is provided to the farmer. Once the waste is delivered, the farmer obtains a certificate of delivery which can be given in paper form or sent by email. This certificate must be kept for 3 years since it might be requested during a potential inspection or needed if you want to market your production as a certified integrated production system, controlled system, or any other. The staff hired for the project analyzes the residue that the farmer brings to the collecting point to assess the effectiveness of the training plan and the plan for the pilot project carried out during the project. The project has also insisted on identifying as well as classifying waste by placing signs on each classification sack. To evaluate other non-Sigfito waste to be integrated into the system, other sacks put apart have been installed. Also, in this case, they are classified according to the materials. The data analyzed show that both the volume collected and quality of the waste has increased throughout the project, thanks to training programs, and that the integration of other waste greatly increases the volume of waste collected, which is likely to reduce the cost of the management system. Currently, Sigfito is already authorized to collect these other waste containers that are not plant protection products, but are agricultural waste. The project also proposes the authorization for the collection of waste from other accessories used in agriculture. When the collecting point has a significant amount of waste, it phones Sigfito to inform on the number of sacks that must be removed. Sigfito then notifies the manager it has hired, and between 10 days and 3 weeks, an authorized means of transport is sent. When the transport arrives, the waste is once again checked to verify it has the Sigfito logo. If a breakage or spill of some kind is detected, it would be put into another sack to prevent spills during transport. The sacks that do not comply are marked and separated, and those that comply are loaded and counted. In some cases, a sign is put on each sack with their identification concerning the collecting point, date, and manager codes. The carrier also provides the new sacks at the collecting point to replace the ones that were removed from the collecting point. Finally, the carrier and the point administration draw up the documentation in accordance with what was taken. The truck transports the waste to an intermediate point or directly to the manager. Good organization of the logistics system is very important because it is one of the major cost factors. The possibility that Sigfito works with only one manager, which can act in different areas, optimizes logistics and lowers costs. The truck that has removed the waste from the collecting point is received by the manager. The first operation is to weigh the truck. The operator delivers the documentation to the administrative center and proceeds with the unloading at the point indicated. The truck unloads the bags and it is weighed again. The difference results in the total weight of the waste. The sacks are classified according to the destination of the recovery plan. Those that contain rigid containers are separated from those containing plastic bags, raffia, and paper or cardboard. The sacks where the different types of containers are mixed are separated and have to be opened and reclassified. If at the collecting point the selection has been correctly followed, this operation can be avoided, thus avoiding an additional cost. Sacks with rigid containers are taken to the decontamination plant. The containers are extracted from the sacks, and those that cannot be recycled are separated, like polyethylene terephthalate (PET) containers. This material, which alone could be recycled, mixed with waste primarily of high-density polyethylene, depreciates the final value of the waste. Other than that, its separation means an additional cost and produces a more intense wear on the industrial mill. Since the total amount of this material is low, 3 to 5%, it is difficult to find a market for this waste. While PET is a very attractive material and has some economic advantages, it is not suitable for the system. At the end, these containers are incorporated into the fraction that will be added to the energy recovery. After the shredding process, the containers are transformed into flakes. These flakes pass through a water bath to be decontaminated, and if the waste contains highly contaminated containers or that have contained oil for machinery or other products that are not plant protection products or industrial, this bath is made with a concentrated solution of caustic soda, which makes the process more expensive. If the waste has been well classified and triple rinsed, the water bath is enough, followed by a centrifuge, a new rinse with a second water bath, and finally one last spin and packed in large big bags. As a result of this process, phytosanitary wastewater and sludge are generated, basically obtained from the paper labels on the containers after washing. Phytosanitary water is transferred into tanks and sent to a specialized treatment plant. The sludge at the on-site plant is rendered inactive and is sent to a safety landfill. Polluted air at each of the emission points in the process is collected in common piping and is directed to an activated carbon filter to deliver clean air to the atmosphere. Also, both the water for washing and the decontaminated final residue are analyzed by ecotoxicity testing in the Manager laboratory. The results obtained allow identifying when to change the water for washing and if the final waste has actually been decontaminated. The acceptance of this waste for the final recycler requires the decontaminated waste has passed the ecotoxicity test. Finally, the big bags with the decontaminated waste are loaded into a truck and are sent to the final recycler. The recycler uses the waste as raw material for the manufacture of a new product.